Unlike other royal families in Europe, King Frederik, Queen Mary, and the rest of the Danish royal family are not billionaires. Although their personal fortune is estimated at around 40 million euros, their primary source of income is the appanage royal allowances granted annually by the Danish parliament as part of the state budget. In 2023, this amount was approximately 16 million euros. However, this does not mean that the Scandinavian monarchs have nothing to be proud of in terms of property. Their main residences, such as Amalienborg Palace, are state-owned and managed by the Agency for Palaces and Cultural Heritage, which makes them available to the reigning monarch, who is responsible for covering the costs of their upkeep. However, there are three exceptions: Marselisborg Palace, Château de Quiquiax in France, and the Hunting Lodge of Trent in Jutland. The French chateau was purchased by Queen Margaret and her husband, Prince Henrik, in 1974. Today, this flourishing vineyard estate spans 24 hectares and produces around 127,000 bottles per year, with prices ranging from 8 to 40 euros. According to a Danish journal, the recently abdicated queen possesses 4.5 million euros inherited from her mother, Queen Ingrid, in addition to her annual allowance of approximately 1.5 million euros. A collection of luxury cars and motorcycles, as well as a ruby necklace inherited from her mother, complement her property. It is expected that Marselisborg Palace will become part of the inheritance of Crown Prince Christian after the death of Queen Margrethe, although it remains to be seen whether inheritance rights will also apply to the beloved retreat of the Danish monarchs, valuable and borrowed royal jewelry. When Australian Mary Donaldson became the Queen of the Danes, she was granted access to one of the most impressive royal treasuries of the Old World. It contains diamonds, emeralds, pearls, and rubies, as well as rose-cut diamonds that adorn necklaces, earrings, and brooches, not to mention a magnificent collection of tiaras. When these jewels are not in use, they are stored in a vault in the basement of Rosenborg Castle. Some of them are displayed in the Amalienborg Museum, a rare occurrence that happens only with Danish jewels. Additionally, to prevent certain jewels and valuable items from leaving the family's control, King Frederik VIII and Queen Louise established the Royal Danish Trust in 1910 for the benefit of future monarchs. This way, they could enjoy the assets transferred to the trust without actually owning them. For example, Queen Margaret's precious pearls are on loan. The foundations managing royal property, the Danish Royals Hunting Lodge, gifted by the Danish people in the 1930s, is managed by a foundation with financial resources coming from the forestry operations on the estate. Its purpose is to preserve the property for use as a place of rest and recreation for members of the royal family, as stated in the Crown's activity report. The president of Transparency International Denmark asserts that his fellow citizens are not particularly interested in the wealth of their monarchs. This is because when compared to the fortunes of the Windsors, the difference is colossal. The Danish royal family is certainly wealthy, but not nearly as much as they are. It's like comparing a mini principality to an empire. Nevertheless, the king's compatriots were very intrigued when it became known in 2020 that Frederik and Mary had purchased a chalet in Verbier, Switzerland, worth 2.3 million euros, which they rented out for up to 8,800 euros per week for nearly 10 years. At that time, there was discontent over the spending of assets abroad without notifying the parliament. It seems that King Frederik is not particularly concerned about this. A few months after ascending the throne, and with broad support in Parliament, he received a significant salary increase of approximately 17 million Danish kroner per year, which amounts to around 2.3 million euros. This decision caused dissatisfaction among the Danes, who also noticed a significant reduction in the number of royal sponsorships. This means that the king and queen will spend less money while receiving more income. Despite the criticism and challenging times, King Frederik and Queen Mary remain symbols of stability and continuity in Denmark. Their decisions and actions, including recent changes in the management of their assets and finances, demonstrate their awareness of their responsibilities to the people and their efforts to adapt to modern challenges. It is essential to remember that the monarchy is not just a tradition, but a living institution that must evolve with society. Supporting the king and queen during this period of change will help preserve and strengthen their role as moral and cultural leaders of the nation. Public trust is the foundation upon which the future of the monarchy is built, and the royal couple is working diligently to earn and maintain that trust.